Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alejandra. So today you guys, we are having another story time. Today I'm sitting in my game room to share with you guys something that happened to me a couple of days ago. If you follow me on Instagram, you will kind of have an idea what I'm gonna talk to you about because I did post something in my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. I post more day-to-day of my life and different things that are going on with me. So go follow me on Instagram so you can get an idea of what I'm gonna talk to you about today. So this all started a couple of weeks ago. You guys know I done a couple of videos. My last couple of videos have been about things that are going on with me right now. I feel like there's a lot of things going on with me and I'm still trying to figure out a lot. That I've been dealing with my blood pressure and trying to get the right dose for my blood pressure medication, how to lower it, and then after that I got food poisoning, and right after getting food poisoning and when everything started. So about 3 weeks ago, a little bit over 3 weeks ago, I got food poisoning. And after getting food poisoning, I told you guys that I wasn't able to really eat anything, that I was still nauseous, and that I wasn't able to even smell food because I would get really nauseous. I still had a lot of stomach ache, and that I was hoping it would go away with time. Well, it did not go away. So throughout these past 3 weeks, I was nauseous 24/7. My stomach was hurting a lot. I felt really tired, without energy. I was trying to continue to live my life as normal as I could, but I wasn't really eating anything. Well, I wasn't eating anything. I was probably able to get 1, 2, 3 bites max of food, but like I said, I was just nauseous. Like, I was nauseous here and there. I will still throw up. My blood pressure was still high sometimes. So there's just a lot of things going on with me. So throughout these 3 weeks, I was talking to Tina about everything that was going on, and me telling her I'm hoping it will go away soon. Maybe the food poisoning really damaged my stomach, and that's why I'm not able to eat and feel nauseous all the time. And she was really concerned of what was going on with me. So a couple of days ago, last Wednesday, I was talking to her, and she goes, "It's been 3 weeks. Like, this is not normal. Something's going on with you." And I told her, you know what? I feel like something's going on with me, but I want to stay positive and think that it will go away. And she's like, it's not going to go away. You need to figure out what's wrong with you. It's not normal. And she suggested that I go in emergency room, try to figure out what's going on, because my blood pressure was still really high. And I told her, you know what? My husband and my mom have been trying to push me to go to emergency room and get the answers that I needed. And I didn't want to go because I hate going to emergency room. And like I said, I thought it would go away. I thought that, the more time that passed, that probably I will get better. But it had already been 3 weeks and I wasn't getting better. So she's like, I think you should just go in, try to get some answers, and tell them that you're also concerned about your blood pressure. So I said, you know what? If Tina's telling me this, my husband and my mom have been telling me this for like the last couple of days, then maybe I should go in. So I called my husband at work and I'm like, you know what? Tina says I should go in. She's really concerned about what's going on. My blood pressure's off the roof again. Also, my bottom number was super high. And he goes, we've been telling you that you need to go. And I said, I know. So he's like, okay, let me leave work right now and I'll take you to emergency room. So we got to UCLA emergency room around 7 p.m. I told them, you know what, just drop me off. I don't know how many hours I'm going to be here. Also, you're not even able to go in with me. And not only that, it was full. the emergency room was super full. There was no place to sit. There was wheelchairs all over the waiting room. So I was like, there's no point for you and my mom to be here because I don't know how long I'm gonna take. I'm like, just go home, rest as much as you can, which I know will be hard because I'm in an emergency room and they both don't rest if I'm not okay. And I'll let you know. I'll be calling you, I'll be texting you and giving you an update. So I'm there at the emergency room. Like I said, I get there at 7 p.m. And I waited, and I waited. So about 7 hours later, about maybe 3 a.m. in the morning, I finally see a doctor. I finally see a doctor. I explained to my doctor, well, to the doctor that was there, what was going on, everything that I was going through. Also, while being in an emergency room, they kept monitoring my blood pressure and it was off the roof. It was super high and my bottle number was high as well. So, I'm telling them, I'm also concerned about my blood pressure and I have scleroderma. So they're like, okay, we are going to do a couple of tests on you. We are going to do, obviously, blood work and x-ray of your stomach because my problem was my stomach. And I was like, what about my blood pressure? They told me that my blood pressure numbers were not concerning for emergency room. I was like, what do you mean they're not concerning for emergency room? Like, how high do they have to be for it to be concerning for emergency room with my numbers being super high? They're like, well, it's not concerning. We're more concerned about, you throwing up and you're being nauseous all the time and you having pain. So I'm like, okay. So I do all the tests. By this time, they're like, oh, we're also going to give you IV, but we have to put you in the waiting room because there's no beds. I knew there was no beds. It was full outside, so there was no way that I was going to get a bed. So they do the IV, and I'm waiting there. By this time, it's already like 4 in the morning, and I eventually, told my husband, is there any way you can just come because I'm getting anxiety from being by myself here. The emergency room was a little bit more clear and they were letting people in. So I was like, maybe they'll let you in and, at least you can sit with me so I won't be here alone. I had already been there a lot of hours by myself. So I was like, hopefully you can come in. So my husband goes and he's able to go in. I told my mom, don't come because I don't even know if you're going to be able to come to go in and for you guys to be waiting in the car. Just don't come. Go to work and then I'll let you know what's going on. So my husband comes, they let him in, and then they tell me we're gonna do a CT scan on you of your stomach. And I'm like, okay. So they take me to do the CT scan, and then I'm back in the waiting room just waiting to see what's gonna happen. So they eventually have a bed for me in the hallway because, like I said, emergency room was so full. So they had all the patients in beds in the hallways. So I'm in a bed finally. Good thing is that they let my husband go in with me. That was the best thing for me, that my husband was able to be there with me. So they told me that it was probably a UTI. And I go, really? They're like, yeah, it's probably a UTI. We're gonna give you antibiotics. We're also going to give you medication for the nausea because I was still nauseous to this point, and pain medication. And we're going to monitor you for, a couple of hours to see what's going on. Hopefully you respond good to the antibiotics. I'm like, okay. So I'm there. They give me the 3 medications. And then a little while after, they're like, we're going to give you something to drink to see if you can keep it down. And I go, okay. So they give me a cranberry juice and a cup of water. Let me tell you, the cup of water was this size. And let me tell you why this size was important. Why I'm telling you it was this size. So I'm like, I don't want to drink the cranberry juice because I feel like it's going to be too sweet on me. I'll just drink the water. So I'm drinking my water, sip by sip. And when I'm about to finish my water, I wanted to throw up. So I told my husband, I need to throw up. Get me a bag. Like, I need to throw up. And I threw up. They gave me the little bags that they give emergency room, and I started throwing it. That's when my doctor was like, you're gonna stay here a little bit longer because that's not okay. You couldn't even keep the water down. I was like, okay, let's stay a little bit longer. So they're like, you know what? We're probably gonna have to admit you and keep you here for a couple of days to see what's causing this, you know, because we already gave you medication and you were not even able to keep the size of this water down. So we're gonna have to admit you. And I'm like, okay. So then they're like, you know what, there's still no rooms for you, but there's a different hallway that's a little bit more calm, more quiet. We'll be monitoring you, and there's like 2 nurses there for like 3 patients, so everything should be okay. And I said, okay. So they take me to a different hallway with a better bed. So by this time it had already been about 15 hours that I had been in emergency room. So they're just monitoring me, and they keep giving me medication because I was nauseous. I was really, really nauseous. I was in pain, and all they had told me was that it was a UTI and that I was going to get admitted at UCLA. I was like, okay. So eventually my mom comes, she was able to leave work early, and she came. So my husband left because I only let one person go in. So they were both like switching off to be with me. So my mom's there with me, and then they tell me, you know what, your insurance doesn't cover UCLA. And I go, okay, so what's going to happen? They're like, well, we're trying to get your insurance to approve for you to stay here. If they don't approve, then you are going to have to get transferred to a different hospital. And I go, okay, which hospital? They told me which one it was. I'm not going to say the name because it was a really bad hospital. And I'm like, okay. So they're like, yeah, just wait off. We're going to wait to see what happens. I'm like, okay. So then they come in again and they're like, you know what, your insurance didn't get approved. We already have the paperwork for you to get transferred to the other hospital. I was like, oh my God. By this time, it was already 2 p.m. I was exhausted. I was tired. Like, I have no idea. I haven't been able to sleep anything, nothing. I wasn't able to sleep. I was just so uncomfortable at emergency room that I wasn't able to sleep. So they're like, you know what, we're going to transfer you. But the closest ambulance that we can get and the closest room that they can give you at the other hospital is at 9:45 p.m. So from 2 p.m. to 9:45 p.m. I had to wait to get transferred. I was like, okay, like, what am I gonna do? I have to wait. Good thing from being at UCLA was that they were really taking good care of me. They were giving me medication. They were giving me, just being really nice. The nurses were so nice. I kept asking for blankets because I was super cold. And they were so nice about it. It wasn't that bad. When I wasn't ready in that second hallway where it was more calm, I was able to maybe sleep here and there, but they would check me a lot with my blood pressure being so high that it was really hard to sleep. So we waited until 9:45 and nothing was happening. I was just there waiting. Eventually they come around 10:10. And let me tell you, I have never been in an ambulance. Never. I'm 29 years old and I have never been in an ambulance, nor have I ever been in a hospital for so long. for so long, nor had I've ever been admitted into a hospital. So I was like, this is a first for me in a lot of things. So I have asked if my mom was able to go with me in the ambulance because I've never been there. And like I said, I feel more comfortable if my mom or my husband are there with me. They're like, yeah, your mom can go in with you. So I told my husband, you know what? You know, he had his car. So I was like, just meet us at the other hospital. You know, and my mom will go in with me. He's like, okay. So we eventually go in the ambulance. It was so weird being in an ambulance. I was like, oh my God, like I never been in an ambulance before. It was weird. But we eventually went to the other hospital that I was getting transferred. When we got to the other hospital, they told me that no one was able to go in with me. By this time, it was already 11 p.m. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, no one's able to go in with me. They're like, no, they can come back tomorrow. Visiting hours are from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. I was like, what? Are you serious? They're like, yeah. So I say bye to my mom, and my husband was waiting for her already. And they take me to my room. I was sharing a room with somebody. And I start getting anxiety. I start freaking out. One, because like I said, I've never been in a hospital, like never have ever been admitted into a hospital, stayed overnight at a hospital, and I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel safe at that hospital. It's a horrible hospital. I'm sorry, but that hospital is horrible. So I started getting anxiety, and you know, I called my husband and my mom, and they're both trying to calm me down because you know I had to be calm. I was gonna stay, and my blood pressure had to, you know, was gonna get worse. So I eventually get calmed. I calm myself. Then the nurse comes in, and you know, they're going through all my paperwork, and they're like, well, you won't be able to see the doctor until tomorrow morning. I was like, are you serious? She was like, yeah, you're not able to see the doctor until tomorrow morning. There's no doctors right now, and you should get some rest and wait for tomorrow. I was like, okay, like what am I supposed to do, you know? So I am here calling and texting my mom and my husband because to this point I had the worst anxiety ever. I didn't rest anything. Eventually the next day I talked to the doctors, and they told me, well, you still sent out all your paperwork and your tests, and well, you have a UTI, and we are going to treat you for a UTI. And I go, well, aren't you going to do more tests, you know, to make sure that it's a UTI? They can say that I have a UTI, but shouldn't you guys at this hospital test me? They're like, no, that's what they said. And we're just going to give you antibiotics, and hopefully it will go away. We'll also give you medication for the nausea and see if you can keep anything down. I was like, oh my God. I really wanted to leave. Like, you have no idea how bad I wanted to leave that hospital. So, you know, they're keeping me there. They're monitoring me. And, you know, eventually they're like, well, you know, you still can't keep anything down, but we're already giving you antibiotics, and you can go home, and, you know, we'll give you the medication for you to take home. I was like, yes, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. Like I said, I didn't feel safe. I had so much anxiety in that hospital. It's not a good hospital. And I don't want to say a name because I just, you know, but it was not a good hospital. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable. So eventually I get discharged. To this point, I don't even remember what time it was because I was super tired. You have no idea. I haven't slept. I was tired. I was exhausted. My body hurt so much, and I was ready to go home. When I was discharged, I still had the IV in my arm that UCLA had put 3 days ago. So by this time it was already Friday. I don't even remember, afternoon. And they're like, and I go, are you gonna take my my needle out because you guys, you know? They're like, oh yeah. Let me tell you, I have had needles on me so many times, a lot of times. Throughout these 10, 11 years of being diagnosed with scleroderma, I have had, needles on me so many times, and every time they take them out, they do them so like gentle to make sure that they don't hurt me or anything. The nurse that took this one out literally yanked it out. So I had like two tapes, right? They put two tapes that won't come off. She literally just went and then it took out the needle. And I go, you're hurting me. Didn't care. And I was like, wow, I will never come back to this hospital. Thank God I was leaving that hospital. So all they said was that I have a UTI. When they told me at UCLA that I had a UTI, I didn't believe it. I was like, there's no way I have a UTI. I know the symptoms of a UTI, and the only symptom that I had from a UTI was nausea and vomiting. The other symptoms, I had nothing, right? Nothing. So I was like, there's no way I have a UTI. So I was hoping that other hospital would do more tests to really check what was in my stomach, what's going on, why can I not keep no food down, why am I nauseous 24/7? And when they didn't do it, I was like, really? While being at the hospital, I kept emailing my rheumatologist, letting him know what was going on, if there was a way that I can see him as soon as possible, because I was not happy with the diagnosis that they had told me, right? So I finally get home Friday afternoon, and I've been just resting, still not being able to eat as much. Like I said, a couple of bites and I get full. I've been trying to drink more water, because it's supposed to UTI, so water is supposed to help, which I don't even think it's a UTI, but anyways. And then yesterday, finally, my doctor responded to me and asked me if I was doing better, and I said I am not doing any better. I was in an emergency room, and what they told me I have, I don't believe, and I want a different opinion. And if there's any way I can see him, he said yes. First thing Monday morning, go to the office. I don't have any appointments available, but I'm going to squeeze you in to figure out what's going on. So tomorrow I am going to go see my rheumatologist to hopefully get better answers, because I am not happy with what they told me I have. I believe I don't have it. So hopefully my doctor can figure out what's going on. He will know what test to do on me, especially because I have scleroderma. He knows what test to do to figure it out, what I have. So that will be tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a second part to this video, letting you guys know what my doctor said, what's going to happen, what tests I'm going to do, or how I'm doing, because like I said, to this point, I'm still nauseous. I haven't thrown up, so that's good, but I'm also haven't eating anything, so but yeah, I know it's been a long video. It's been a lot. I've been going through so much for like the last month. I am exhausted of everything that's going on, because it will be better if I had answers, but I don't. Emotionally, I've been really emotional, trying to stay positive, trying to keep my faith up that everything's gonna be okay, that I'm going to be okay. Today I decided to kind of get ready and maybe go out, get some fresh air, distract myself from everything that's going on, because there's a lot going on, like a lot going on in my life. But hey, that's what a patient with a scleroderma has to go with. has to deal with, because you know, having scleroderma is not easy. It's a roller coaster. You have your ups, you have your downs. Right now my roller coaster is going really down, but I know I'm gonna be okay. I know, like I said in my other video, it's just an obstacle, and I am going to come out strong, and I'm gonna be okay. And I decided to share my story, because if you're going through the same thing, you guys are not alone. You guys know you can always count on me. Also, my advice would be, if you're not okay with what one doctor says about what you have, or want to diagnose you with something, get a second opinion. Try to get a second opinion, because sometimes doctors don't know how to deal with patients that have scleroderma. I noticed it that they really didn't know about scleroderma, and not only that, the fact that they were not concerned about my blood pressure being so high and my numbers being crazy high. I was like, that's not okay. So try to get a second opinion. That's something that I am doing. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I know it's been a long video, so thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe down below, leave any comments if you want to get to know me more, or more about scleroderma. Follow me on Instagram so you can get more information about what I'm going through day to day. And I hope you guys have a good day. Goodbye.